culture is often talked about, but I don't know that people fully understand what it means, because I think they attach different meanings to it. What does it mean when it comes to culture for you? Like, what does that look like in an organization or inside of a family?
Yeah. Well, I think one of the big things is tapping into the people, right? And so what I used to do was I used to think that I come up with this dream or these 4 principles, and then everyone lives by the principles. That creates my culture. But what I realized was when you get in touch with people, you, number one, have to respect and reverence where they came from. When you do that, then you can respect and reverence where they're at. And then finally, you can help them to get where you think they can go. But I actually skipped steps 1 and 2. And I would always go to the hard charging, grab a hold of someone. And you know how it is, Tristan. You're the best at what you do. You'll grab someone and say, I see your potential. I think that you're the greatest. You could do this, you could do that. And a person's like, I actually would like to wake up today. That was a big thing for me. So based on where they're from, right? I'm from Lompoc. Based on where I'm at right now, if you know those 2 things, now you can encourage where you want me to go. But if you don't know where I came from, where I'm at, when you encourage me, sometimes you can scare me. I used to take kids and tell them, you can make $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 a year, when they came from a family where if they made $15,000, $20,000 a year, they were the richest person in generations. And that was a huge lesson for me.
That's a good point, man. I think we, like Mark and I, want to bring in people at the level that we see them at, but they're not there yet. That's true. Yeah. A really good point that you bring up. So where do we start when it comes to culture in general, especially when they may not be in a great place and maybe they're joining our team or organization and they have the potential, but they're just not there yet?
I think the more and more you tell your own story, right? Like the deeper and more interesting it'll be. And I think that that's the biggest part, because most of the time we listen to people, but most of the time we listen to respond as opposed to listening to actually hear what they're saying, right? And I do this all the time. That's where I failed a ton. And so when we tell our story about what it is that we're doing, say your organization, you tell the story over and over again, people who are attracted to that story and understand that story are going to be the people who want to be involved in your community. I think a lot of times we press in and we just think that I just need to go and get the best at X. But for me, with a culture, it always starts with the people and making sure that you're growing or building the people. And if I go out and pick, like I learned this from very early on, if you go out and pick an apple from the barrel, it's different from picking it from the tree. I would much rather have coal that my culture created the stress and pressure on to create a diamond than go out and spend the money that it costs to buy a diamond. The reason why is because the loyalty of that coal is going to be so much more inside of my culture, because they're going to have their own story. It's going to be developed inside. Whereas if I go and get a diamond, it's the same thing as the Lakers right now. And for all you Lakers fans, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You went out and tried to buy a championship, and guess who's in the finals? The Warriors, baby. And what did we do? We drafted. Every person on that team was drafted inside of it. We got rid of KD, which we didn't need him. And we stuck to our culture of the Warriors. I'm saying ours because I'm a part of the team too. I'm a free agent right now though.
You're legendary. Yeah.